Hello, everybody, and welcome. The win streak continues to another Let's Talk Broncos post-game reaction show with the very lucky Michael Carmelini joining us, as well as find him over at, I should say really quick, find him at Mic'd Up right here on YouTube. Make sure you're checking him out. And then we're also joined in the bottom box here by David Talks Sports. You can find him at David Talks Broncos or David Talks Buffs. Let me see. Who do I want to start with? You know what, David? I see you giving me the nod, David. David,
Okay.
how are you feeling, and what are you thinking about this game right now?
I'm so happy we got this win. We can win in a variety of ways. 4-0, right? When we enter the fourth quarter with a deficit, does this team not have some magic, some swagger, some weird belief in them for getting the victory in the fourth quarter if they're down? I love today's win. You never apologize for an ugly win on the road. Hats off to Davis Mills. I thought he did pretty good for filling in for CJ Stroud going up against our defense. But hey, we made a few more good plays than bad plays. And I'm just glad that netted in a victory. So 7-2, Chiefs lose. This is a great night to be talking Broncos football.
A tremendous night. I feel so happy. You hit on some things that we are going to be getting into even greater detail about here shortly. Mike, where are you at with this game? How are you feeling right now? What's your immediate instant reaction takeaway?
Zach, man, I feel great. It's always better to win. I don't care. Once the game's over, however it happened, scoreboard, baby. I'm happy.
Yes.
I mean, we had a fumble, an interception, a blocked field goal. Time of possession we lost. Bo was off until late, and then he does his thing, of course. But, I mean, to win a game in the NFL and play like that and have all that stuff and still win the game, man, I'm just saying something special about this team, this Broncos squad, Zach.
There is, and it is very reminiscent of the Tebow year. Ryan was saying that on Broncos React today, Ryan Edwards, and some Broncos fans were getting very defensive of that and saying we shouldn't be comparing Bo to Tim Tebow. I mean, let's it should be noted John Elway also had some slow starts early in his career. We should be comparing Bo to John Elway. Now, I would agree that Bo is a lot better than Tim Tebow. Lockstep. Let's pump the brakes on the Bo Nix to John Elway on comparisons. On the other end of the spectrum, I think somewhere in the middle of those two, at least for now, is a fair place to live. But it is very reminiscent of that year where Bo Nix for the first three quarters is kind of up and down. Like first quarter, I tweeted this thing out with his EPA per play by quarter. And in the first quarter, it's like 25th. In the second quarter, it's like 11th. In the third quarter, it's 22nd or so, I want to say. And then in the final quarter, it's fifth. He goes to being a top five quarterback. His EPA per play is like 0.35 in the fourth quarter. For just like frame of reference for people that aren't analytics nerds like me, 0.25 per play is roughly like MVP caliber. Now there's a reason why it's inflated in the fourth quarter. You'd expect it to be higher in the fourth quarter because you're throwing more, it's clutch situations, yada, yada. But he's delivering in those moments consistently. And that's been the difference for the Broncos. Before we get to the Bo Nix improvement meter or talking about the offense or any of that stuff, I actually want to lean into this topic we're hitting on right now. Is the
Zach,
Broncos
sorry, man. Can you show the can you see that I put up there? Is Bo Nix Tim Tebow with a better arm? Like, I literally leaned into this subject before we even talked about this tonight, man. I'm like, let's just do it. It's out there. Let's just do it.
It's perfect. And okay, so is this disappointing that the Broncos keep, getting out to these slow starts, sometimes even against lesser opponents. They maybe even look bad or disappointing or not up to par for 3 quarters, but then they keep winning. They're on a 6-game win streak. They've beat a lot of good teams during that win streak. Is this team a clutch team that just knows how to win and has that special stuff to them, or is this troubling because this is a team that's underperforming and can't find itself? Mike, I'm going to start with you this time.
Man, I'm not going to cop out and say both, but I want to say both. It's disappointing.
Give me a lean, Mike.
And it's clutch. So I'm going to work my way through it. Give me 10 seconds to do that. The last time the Broncos had a 6-game winning streak was in 2015, and we won the Super Bowl. So I'm going to say clutch. I'm going to say Bo Nix in a season and a half. He's already in 3rd place in Broncos franchise history with fourth quarter comebacks. He's got 7 of them. So that's clutch any way you look at it. So early in the games, I'm a little disappointed that they can't all look like Dallas. But I mean, guys, you gotta admit he's clutch. At the end of the games, he just comes alive, and I love it. I love the excitement. I don't like the heart attack that's probably coming one of these weeks, but man, I'm gonna say it's clutch.
I love to hear it, David. Where do you sit on this? Is this team more clutch or more just disappointing and inconsistent, I guess?
I think following that Indianapolis and LA Chargers loss, something changed with this team where they decided they were going to refuse to lose. It doesn't matter what the score is going into the 4th quarter. This team refuses to lose, and Bo Nix is a big part of that, man. So yeah, I'm saying clutch. I'm saying clutch right now. It's the NFL. It's the NFL. I'm not even gonna say disappointing because man, we saw the freaking Carolina Panthers go and beat Green Bay and Lambeau. That should have never. But it happens, man. The fact that how many games have we won straight now? 6 straight. This team has something special, and they're still young, which is even scarier. The fact that they at will seem to win right now, I don't think it's a fluke with how many different ways they've done it.
I agree. I think there's something to it with this team. Now, I think there's maybe something to the early sloppiness and then getting out to slow starts. And when we talk about the general offensive struggles, we can get more into that. But yes, always being able, or not always, like you said, they had the Colts and Chargers losses. But outside of those, every time the chips have been down, they've managed to, claw their way out from whatever corner they've put themselves in. And there absolutely is something to that in my eyes. Before I keep us moving here, I want to touch on this comment from Hydra Amo. One of the two.
Hydra Ammo.
I like it. Saying Tremont Smith looks pretty good while we're trotting Michael Bum off the street, Bandy. I definitely understand the frustrations with Michael Bandy. I'm not putting this quote up to dunk on him. I am putting it up here because, and I'll be vague, not to be secretive, but just because I don't know the specifics and I don't know them, and I don't want to get them wrong. But there's some sort of off the field connection. Tremont Smith's from the Houston area, or at least his family's located there, and there's some off the field, not in any bad or problematic way, but some connection to a family or health or something. Again, I don't remember the exact specifics, but there was something that made him go to Houston this offseason where not only was it not going to be in Denver, it wasn't going to be 30 other teams too. And it sucks to lose a player that talented. He's an awesome special teams talent, as we unfortunately were reminded of today. But thankfully his teammates screwed that up. But I did want to put that out there. The Broncos made a lot of mistakes on special teams this offseason, like Darren Rizzi. But Tremont Smith was a one they really could not have controlled. To my understanding, he was going to go to Houston. Echoing this kind of idea, D Bronx is saying Knicks was horrible, but the special teams were worse. That was pretty rough. Dak saying Bo goes from Steve Urkel to Stephon in the fourth quarter. Is Loki a huge part of the team? I had that takeaway today too. It hurt not having him on special teams to balance out all the field position stuff. And you know what? Let's go to that now. Offense, defense, special teams. Mike, starting with you again this time. What is your grade for the Broncos in this Week 9 victory over the Texans?
I'm going to go worst to first on this one, Zach. Special teams, I mean, they knew the block field goal was coming, talked about it all week. They still get it. The only reason they don't get an F is because Lutz does his magic again. I mean, game winner. So we'll give them a D. The offense, I'm gonna give them a B. I might be the only one here that'll go that high, and I might even go higher. This was a tough game, and I always thought this was a bad matchup for the Broncos coming into this game. But watching the game, it didn't really look like it. It just looked like Bo was kind of just playing poorly through a lot of that game. I saw like running lanes. I saw open receivers. I saw, like they were close. But at the end of the day, they did what they had to do and they scored points. So I'm gonna be generous and give the offense a B. I probably shouldn't, but I will. Homer. That's my Homer grade. Defense is an A. They've played 9 games, and 4 of the teams that we played haven't gotten in the end zone. This is a great defense without Pat Surtain. They get an A. And if maybe we should talk about grading coaching at some point in time too. But those are my grades, Zach.
You know what, Mike? I think we're gonna strongly disagree here. I'll throw it to you to give your grades here in a second, David. But I need to follow up with Mike now. What would you grade the coaching, and why? I think more importantly, because I could agree with some critique, but we'll see.
What would I grade the coaching?
Yeah, and why?
Honestly, well, if I have to include special teams. But I would overall give them a good grade. I liked the plan that they had today. The game just went weird. There was, I don't know, just to me, I thought I liked what they were doing. I wasn't pissed at Sean Payton the whole game, at least not much. And I thought VJ did a good job working around not having Pat Surtain. I liked what he did on defense. Special teams looks ill prepared, and so. I don't know what the grade would be because there's so many different out of the 3, it would be like, A-, B,
all right,
F. And you can figure out who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a B-. How about that?
I think the F feels appropriate. David, offense, defense, special teams, just in general, not coaching specific. How are you grading the Broncos, and overall, how are we grading the Broncos today?
Okay, yes. So special teams, we'll start there. They had a good fourth quarter. F. There were so many mistakes going on. The only reason they don't get an F- is because they were good in the fourth quarter. But I think you could at least pin them as responsible for 9 points for the Texans in this game. And then I had a little list here of just every single big miscue that they had. They had a blocked field goal. They had a touchback miscue where Bidet doesn't even know where he's at, knee in the kickoff. So that was a difference of 15 yards. They gave up 2 big returns. Then on one of those returns, he had Mitchell Fabroni a long snapper getting a personal foul, late hit out of bounds was completely unnecessary. And then you're telling me, Darren Rizzi, you got nobody else on the active roster that can field a punt except except practice squad wide receiver Michael Bandy? No way, man. So Crawshaw and Lutz saved special teams, okay? But it was an F performance from the special teams group as a whole. They should, Darren Rizzi should be ashamed. Sean Payton said, if we can't clean it up, I'll find somebody who can. Interesting words for a good friend of his, but I like that. And yeah, so they're an F. Offense, I'll give him a C. I think Sean Payton, I think it was very clear, man, he had open guys schemed up in this game. And if it wasn't an inaccurate throw from Bo Nix like there in the first half, it was a drop from somebody in the first half or like in the third quarter. So offense just not in sync. I think today it was definitely more of an execution thing. You can maybe get on Sean Payton a little bit for not finding a way to get these guys in rhythm. Whatever. C. Defense, A, especially without without Pat Surtain. I wish that they got a little bit more consistent pressure, especially with the injuries that they had on the offensive line and Davis Mills. That's kind of my only big critique. But Nico Collins, very good receiver. He was impactful, but he did not dominate today. And I think that is very, very important that we limited his production. So, yes, defense A, offense C, special teams F, baby.
Yeah, I'm a little lower on the defense, admittedly. I do feel that first half was frustrating to me. I'm like, you're going against Davis Mills here, and he's just driving up and down the field into scoring position every time. Now, they got tough. I thought that goal line stand, like that, arguably won the game for the Broncos. Incredible effort on that play. But in that first half, I think they had something like 13, 14 first downs. It was ridiculous. In the second half, the adjustments they made were tremendous. The Broncos defensive staff, that is, because Texans got 2 first downs the rest of the way. It was just suffocation in the second half. I was so impressed by how they did that. Excuse me. Vance Joseph's consistently done that all year long. Just really all throughout his Broncos tenure, the second Broncos tenure, I should clarify, where just great halftime adjustments and the defense has performed much better in the second half than they have the first. How many sacks did they finish with today? I was in the middle of looking that up.
I think 4.
And they were also on the field for 34 minutes and 36 seconds in this game.
It's ridiculous. I will say, it's why you don't want to do tempo, because when you are struggling offensively or whatnot, if the tempo doesn't really work, you saw how crazy the time of possession was early on. I think more no huddle I'm on page with, but keep running that clock. I don't think you want to tire out your defense too hard. I wanted to read off that Peyton quote you referenced, David. He said about Darren Rizzi, we'll get that cleaned up, or we'll find somebody that will, which was great, because earlier this week when he was asked about it, he was very quick to shut it down and say, like Darren Rizzi's doing a good job or something to that effect when media asked him about it, which was very concerning. Because, man, this is such an obvious problem. And if you're not seeing it just because the guy's your friend, like that's very, very troubling. Yeah. I'm glad he actually held him accountable and after this game. And, all the discussion about Sean Payton's play calling, this is a much bigger concern to me. The penalties, which credit to the coaching staff, weren't a problem today. That's a bigger, like Sean Payton complaint to me. Where it's like, man, a lot of these things just have to get tidied up. It's ridiculous that like the Broncos should have cruised to a victory in this game, even with how tough this Texans defense is, if they had just gotten like a decent special teams performance, and not lost the turnover battle. If you just remove those like really loud mistakes, especially when that first interception, that should be a touchdown. Like you should just put, and I get why he lobbed it, because he keeps overthrowing these ones. And so we wanted to put some mark on it to make sure Franklin gets under it. But man, he was lucky that Stingley didn't intercept a different one too when he threw down the middle to Pat Bryant, where he's just lobbing it up there. I think you eliminate some of those loud mistakes, and this team gets it together. Anyways, a whole lot of rambling. The special teams was an absolute mess. You guys hit on a lot of it. Michael Bandy's return play, like that's maybe the most embarrassing muff I've seen. Muff punt I've seen. Like I don't like he misplayed that as poorly as you could possibly like think to have played it, and then it like bounces off his face to the opponent. Yeah, F worthy on the special teams. Like I said, I think B for the defense. They did get the ball moved on them a little too easily for how limited this Texans offense was. And then the offense, I think I'm going to D. I was underwhelmed pretty greatly. Credit to, or you know what, the run game was mostly good, and then when it wasn't, it was because the boxes were stacked pretty hard against them. I'll go like a C- because I thought what the run game showed was pretty awesome today. And just like this isn't a great Texans defense. They're kind of, or run defense, that is. They're kind of middling, but they're not bad like the Cowboys were. And just, 9-8 yard chunks getting torn off regularly by J.K. Dobbins, I thought was awesome. But that pass game, I'll get more into it in the improvement meter, but woof, dude, that was disgusting. Receivers weren't great, but Bo Nix, I'm watching you the rest of the way. So yeah, I think offense is like a C- for me, and defense a B to B+. They came through in the clutch. They did what matters, or what mattered. And yeah, that I think you guys covered everything else I wanted to hit on there. Any closing thoughts before I get us to the next topic? I'm all over the place.
I do. I'm changing my special teams grade to an F. The more I thought about it.
Yeah, valid.
I am way too nice. If they had lost, I think if we had lost this game, my grades would probably all be one less than they are. So I'm just writing a little bit of a high. I admit it. But the Texans punted 8 times and we had 30 return yards. I mean, after David got done talking, I had already moved him to an F because I didn't even think of some of the other stuff. So yeah, I'm just changing my grade, Zach. So put him down for an F for me.
I think valid.
This game felt very similar to the Jets game.
Yeah.
And the special teams just kept the Jets in that game. And they were getting fantastic field position to where the margin of error for our defense was just razor thin. I felt like starting each drive. So, yeah, hats off to the defense for really just putting a chokehold on them in the fourth. I'm sure we'll get to this, but I think Crawshaw, whether that was Crawshaw or coaching, they just said, you know what, man, we're just going to boot this thing through the end zone every single time and not even allow a possibility for a return. And that helped change things.
Yeah, man. And just to close that out real quick, Zach, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Are we sure that was Sean Payton talking about Rizzy, or was he talking about Bandy when he made that quote?
He was talking about Rizzy. He was talking about the special teams in general, and he said,
"Wow."
And he was saying, if like, I don't think you would put it on your practice squad returner. Hey, if we can't find someone, if Michael Bandy can't clean up the special teams, I'm gonna find someone who will. That'd be wild to put on Michael Bandy. I think it must have been Rizzy.
Yeah, I thought it's just because I saw that quote and I saw somebody thought that he was talking about the muffed punt or whatever it was. And I was like, all right, well, that's not so harsh. They'll put somebody else in there. And I had hoped that he was talking about Rizzy. And when you said that, I got my hopes up because that guy needs to be, I'm happy that Sean Payton called him out because he definitely needs to be called out.
That he does. I'm trying to think where we want to go next here because I have my different topics. Oh man, did I screw up uploading some of these? No. It's right here. Okay, cool.
We're so organized now.
I'm working on it. I could definitely be better.
No, you're great, dude.
Let's do the weekly improvement meter. I'm trying to.
Oh shit!
For me to keep track of all my graphics. Okay. Weekly improvement meter. Sean Payton said we weren't going to do it. We're doing it. Let me start. You know what? I'm gonna be grouchy, so I definitely need to start with both of you guys, maybe simmering me down. Um, David, I think I started with Mike last time.
Okay.
How are we feeling about Bo Nix and Sean Payton today?
Yeah. Dude, Sean Payton. I'll say, man, it's still it's a stock even, man. I think we've had him as a stock up, right? So hey, that stock is still high. It's not higher after this game, but hey, Sean Payton now coached D'Amico Ryans. I know there's some comments there, like from D-Bron saying he was horrible and won us the game throwing the ball with Mills on that line of drive. Sean Payton, I think he had a good game today. Bo, you just went up against the Dallas Cowboys defense. That's a get right game for every single quarterback, man. And he just wasn't in rhythm, wasn't hitting his throws. He did enough, obviously, to get the win. We're all pumped about that, but it's a stock down from the Cowboys performance. I mean, how can it not be, right? And yeah, maybe we really miss Marvin Mims and helping execute some of those rhythm throws that we do so often with him. Yeah, it was a bummer that, I mean, what do we have? Maybe 4 different drops there in the first quarter from receivers on our first 2 drives, or a couple inaccurate throws on Bo's end. But yeah, that's the one thing for Sean is just how the heck do you get these guys in rhythm? I'm sure he's trying a few different things, right? I hate the slow starts.
It's puzzling. It's just, I mean, they finally got a touchdown, or no, they just didn't get a 3 and out, and then Bo immediately threw the interception. So
Yep.
that was the streak they broke last time. And then this time, I guess they got some first downs, and then they got a blocked field goal. And that's man, they haven't scored on an opening drive, and I can't even think of when the last time they did that was. So the slow starts are maddening. Mike, where are you at on Bo Nix and Sean Payton?
Man, this is like the saddest, most depressing, winning post game I've ever seen in my life. But
we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Don't
but-
you worry. We got our stars of the game and everything. But yeah, the Bo Nix and Sean Payton segment of today's show probably isn't going to be extra rosy.
well, Zach, I was setting myself up. So to say, but man, I'm down. I'm starting with Bo. That was a bad performance. Bad game. He was missing a lot of wide open, at least real NFL standard wide open receivers. I always make it very clear. I don't pretend to be an analyst, but man, he sets his feet and steps into it. He does pretty good, but man, tonight he was all over the map. He was floating the long passes. He was throwing them in the dirt. It got messy a few times. For me, it was just not a great night for him. I still love him. Clutch at the end, got her done, but stock down. It's got to be. And I guess for Sean Payton, again, I thought he had a good game plan. I don't know. Give me an all 22 and then really look at it. I was so nervous about this game that it's hard for me to judge, but I thought he used his timeouts right there towards the end. He got it, ran the clock down, finally let Bo run the ball. And it kind of just worked out that way, let him go. Because earlier in the game, it seemed like Bo was making bad decisions, or he was telling him not to run. But it looked like on third down, he could have easily picked up some third downs, like on the one where he was almost across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then he threw like the first down mark. I thought he could have just run for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with, I'm going to go even right where I was with coach. And you got to go stock down with Bo on this game, Zach. It just wasn't a good game. Clutch and all, thankfully he got her done, but you can't stay even after what we've seen, last week.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's stock down on both for me. And I'll say I'm also pretty happy with the play calling. Not to say it is perfect. There are flaws. there are nits I think we can pick with it. After that opening drive, there is one handoff called the rest of the first half. Now they only had 5 plays, so I think that's part of it. If they call one more handoff, we're talking about a 2 to 3 run pass split. Is anyone upset about that? And if they are, I'd say it was kind of trivial. But yes, the 1 to 4, that's not very good. In general, I think there's been some and there was some of that I think in the second half too, where it was like I wish we were leaning a little harder into the run now. But I also think there's some reasons for it. Like I'm trying to find the success rate for J.K. Dobbins in this one right now. I think I might have it right here against. Oh no, they don't have his game log up yet on even Pro Football Reference. I thought they'd be able to come through for me. Darn. Okay, so I don't know his success rate, but for as many 8-9 yard carries as he had, and he had a great day, but because the defense could tee off on the run game so much, he had plenty where he was getting bottled up and they were being put into a 2nd and 10, or they're running it on 2nd and 6 and now it's 3rd and 8, and then in those positions they are kind of forced to throw it. And I think that led to some of the imbalance too, where even like I was so zeroed in on the play calling in this one because I knew the offense was going to struggle. And I was like, I am going to be ready for whatever play calling complaints I hear. It not being ran enough. Let's see like what is the actual like down and distance step-by-step situation here. And again, there are complaints. They probably should have ran it more in that second quarter, probably even a little bit more in the second half. The screens are frustrating. I think they're kind of necessitated by the fact Bo Nix can't throw any other pass accurately, seemingly, or with consistency. I feel like if there were throws past the line of scrimmage, he could throw accurately with consistency. We wouldn't see as many screens. It's my hot take. I think it's probably pretty lukewarm. Bo Nix, by the way, I'm not just talking out of my ass on this. He is the NFL's least accurate quarterback this year in terms of uncatchable passes, the rate at which an uncatchable pass is thrown 10 plus yards down the field. That's why everything feels so compressed, by the way. I just like, yes, are there play calling problems? Absolutely. But Occam's razor here, guys. Like, do I love that we're seeing multiple end arounds to Troy Franklin in like 2nd and short or 3rd and short situations? No, I don't like that. That's a problem. That's 2 plays. Bo Nix had like 7 or 8 open receivers where he just airmailed the pass today. Like that, which one's the bigger problem? The 2 plays or the 8? The 8. Like that. That's the one thing that drives me crazy with the Bo Nix conversation. And it's not to say he's bad or they need to give up on him or they need a bench him for Jarrett Stidham or he's not going to develop. I have a lot of faith in Bo Nix still going forward. Maybe some orange tinted glasses. Maybe I will be proven a fool. I have faith that he will get there. Maybe it'll be a longer development like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. Hopefully he can figure it out while he's in Denver. But I think he's made of the right stuff. And I think he's got enough talent that he's going to get where he needs to get to, even if it's not ultimately a super elite quarterback. And I'm not saying he won't get there. I'm just saying I think he's going to improve to the point where he's at the least a solid franchise quarterback. But let's be honest, he's not there yet. And when people get in my mentions, well, Bo's still developing. Yeah, and that's why he's limiting the offense. How can we acknowledge in 1 second that, yeah, hey, this guy's still developing, he's learning, he's growing, but then not acknowledge that, hey, the stuff he's learning about and growing towards, that work in progress, it's showing. And it's the reason why, I think, not the only reason, to be clear, the biggest reason why this offense has starts and stops. Again, a lot of people will point out the receivers and the drops. That is a problem. Huge problem. We're not talking about all the balls thrown behind them or that they're having to slide for and catch. That it should probably be incomplete, but they're making catches.
Just on a completely different universe with Evan Ingram today.
It was insane. He's so lucky he gets right back with a great touchdown pass to Sutton on the next play. But that's like, what are you doing, Bo? And it's like, that's my one thing. Like, there are other problems in the offense, but I'm telling you, just count them out. Like, okay, there were I don't know, 3 or 4 receiver drops today, and let's say Sean Payton had like 3 or 4 bad play calling moments. Okay, all of that combined equal, and I think I'm counting high here. I think I'm being generous towards with those counts to get to a total of 8. All those mistakes combined equals the mistakes being caused by Bo's inaccuracy alone, not missing reads or just like defaulting to a check down too quick, which was another thing. People were complaining about the screens today. I think 2 or 3 of those were not screens, but a check down with a blocker, which is a new offense.
Yeah.
Development.
I got a question for you really quick, Zach, and Mike. Do you feel like, to me, it just feels like this Bo Nix stuff, because you see him get better in the fourth quarter of the second half, right? A lot of this is just like a mental block. Can you point to any other quarterbacks that have struggled in this particular way that have like grown through it? I'm trying to think.
Tim Tebow.
No, stop that. Stop that right now.
All right.
Here's
Baker Mayfield was never accused of being accurate. And if he was, I missed it. He's always a really accurate quarterback. But he did not, I mean, he struggled early. And when you guys both played ball, right? So at least you played sports at some point in your life. Like there's a thing about a lot of games, and it can be, I kind of played most of them, but like in golf, football, and like tennis, when you're up, 5 games, 5-0 in tennis, and you got to win one game, you can go one of 2 ways. You get loose and you win easily, or you get tight and you're like, oh crap. And then all of a sudden it's 5-2, and then it's 5-3, and then you really go, oh crap. I think it is something mental, David. I think he thrives when it's on the line. And I think he's trying to play in a system that he's not good enough at yet. So he just, I don't know why this is probably a great question for Zach, but my feeling is that it is mental. Like he gets loose, the more he has to score. Like, it's like, I have to do this play. I have to do that. When he doesn't, he's like, hey, I'm just going to get it done. And then he plays loose. He always looks like he's playing loose when the game's on the line.
Yeah. I think he is maybe like, I don't even know how I would describe it, but I think like so much of the inaccuracy is him trying to do too much. Like, I don't even know if it's yet, like, I would feel more optimistic about Bo Nix turning around in terms of the accuracy than I ever felt about Drew Lock improving his accuracy. And then I ever felt about Josh Allen improving his accuracy. And I say that with egg on my face on the Allen one, because he's turned into the most accurate quarterback.
He's the outlier, yeah.
But those were like extreme mechanical problems where it was like, you guys have to overhaul how you're throwing the football. And I don't think it's that for Nix. Like, it is a mechanical problem, but it's a weird one where I struggle to think of someone that's rebounded from it. To your point, David, I struggle to think of anyone else who's had it. I might just be forgetting one, but it's because it's not like he's got bad mechanics. Like, when it's right, it's good. Like, I think he's got pretty crisp. Not that he's like, whoa, he's got the most perfect mechanics ever, but I think it's what more or less what you want it to be. But so often he goes away from them, or he goes away from them so easily. And like, he just gets into like, I'm going to do some shit mode. And like, I don't know why. Yeah. And then when his back's against the wall, it's like, okay, I'm just going to play like normal quarterback now. And it looks great. And why it's not happening earlier, it's a really great question. I think, where was this comment I was just reading? Richie Rich asking, where's the off-season work Bo was doing? Like, I'm not seeing the clear improvement. And I think this is a fair question. Like, I think the game's coming to him, generally speaking, a little slower this year. If you look at the first like 6 games of last year, it was like awful. Like it looked like he might not belong in the NFL at all. I wasn't saying that out loud, but those first 5 games, I was thinking it. I was like, man, this is looking really, really scary. I can't say this on the podcast, but it is looking real bad. And it clicked in. And I don't think it's ever been there. Like he does look generally more mature to me. I think he's been a little less gun shy. I think that's good.
He's been much better in the fourth quarters.
In the fourth quarter, he's been a whole lot better. Maybe that's an element of things slowing down for him.
Yeah.
But the accuracy has regressed so much. And it's because he's like doing just crazy footwork stuff. I want him this offseason. You're kind of on the roller coaster now. This offseason, get with Jordan Palmer or one of these quarterback gurus, literally any of them other than Quincy Avery. Quincy Avery, to get that man away from my quarterback. I don't want him to catch 30 cases. Anyways, the slime ball. Anyways, get with Jordan Palmer or one of the actual like legitimate quarterback gurus and throw 10,000 footballs with like the same just like basic mechanics and drill that muscle memory into his head. And I think so many of the problems would get corrected. But yeah, that's to me, to get back to your question, David. I don't know what it is, but it's just like he tries to do a Patrick Mahomes impression for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth is like, that didn't work.
Man.
Let me just play quarterback. And then it's good. Like, and I don't even, is that crazy, Mike? What's your take to that?
I hope he's not trying to pull a Patrick Mahomes. First,
I don't mean that literally. He's not doing Dylan Raiola stuff out here.
But he's doing some. Yeah, thank God. But some of the no look stuff. I don't know what he's being told. Okay, and I'd love to know what he's being told to do out there. But I will say that I'm probably a little more optimistic than you guys. Maybe it's being older. Having seen, like, I'm old enough to remember like quarterbacks not getting, cut every 2 years or benched every 2 years. Like I've seen quarterbacks just get better. And I'm on board that that's going to happen with Bo. I'm very confident in that. But I think it's okay to point out that he had a shitty game. We've seen several of these from him, so there's something going on. But I wouldn't put him in that that category of he needs to be saved. I think we've seen he doesn't win the way that Tebow did, right? Like Tebow, it was fluky. This was not a fluky win.
No.
Like this was an ugly game, but they kind of won it pretty at the end. I'm sorry, they did.
He starts ripping them like that.
Pat Bryant throw
is gorgeous. Where's that?
My point is that he can rip it, and eventually something's good. Sean Payton is not stupid. He's stubborn. Bo Nix is. I think he's got the work ethic. I think he's got the talent. I think it's all gonna work out. He can rip it. Eventually, it's going to come together, and he's just going to rip it. So I don't know what's wrong with it or why it is, but yeah, I don't feel like he's a project quarterback. He's just young and still feeling it out.
And I think sorry, David, really quick. One reason for optimism, a lot of these quarterbacks we're seeing like have these late career turnarounds. Like Geno did it before the Raiders, when he was in Seattle. Baker, of course, Sam Darnold. I think I'm forgetting
Stafford in some respects.
Daniel Jones, Stafford to an extent, all had a lot of inconsistency early on in their career. And I don't mean just them playing, though that too, but different offensive coordinators, different head coaches, general franchise unrest, because we're talking about, the Giants of the late 2010s and early 2020s, or the Browns, or, the New York Jets. And that's not a problem in Denver. Yeah, and that's not a problem in Denver. They have like a really nice infrastructure right now, and it's part of the reason why everybody calling for Sean Payton's head. I'd be real careful what you look for. I think part of the reason I'm so optimistic about Bo Nix's development is I think he's generally made of the right stuff mentally.
Yeah,
and I think you just like it is still going fast for him at this point. which is not atypical for a second-year quarterback. I'm not knocking Bo here. You can just tell he's not seeing it like a veteran at this point, and that's fine. The thing is all about getting there. And I think he's going to be able to get there faster than even a Baker or a Darnold or, one of these other guys, because he's not going to have his whole situation overhauled or uprooted every single offseason. He's going to continue to build on a stable foundation. And even if like Davis Webb gets poached, and they have to find a new quarterback coach, like, would that be a bummer? Yes. I think I'm fairly confident you can replace that role in the staff. Like maybe not with someone as good as Davis Webb, but like who was Davis Webb before the Broncos hired him? Like I think you can find another guy. Peyton's built pretty good staffs throughout his career. I generally have faith in that. Anyways, David, I ended up going for a while. What was your take on Bo? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that myself included, we forget that Drew Brees spent 5 years in San Diego, man. And he didn't start looking good until the end. So maybe that's where Bo Nix is at right now. If you want to compare him to Drew Brees, maybe he's not necessarily in New Orleans yet.
Yeah.
And Zach, you tell me just real quick so we can wrap it up. Just tell me, is it possible that Sean Payton, having coached Drew Brees all those years, maybe thinks it's a little easier to does he tweak the game plan that much and his plays that much that it's challenging Bo too much, or is it the same? I mean, I know there's a lot of choice routes. I do understand the basic concepts.
Yeah.
But is it possible, or does it look to you like he gets cute? Sean gets cute. Is it possible that he's making it a little harder for Bo than it needs to be sometimes?
Yeah, sorry if anybody's hearing my cat throw a tantrum right now, but that's starting. Okay, I'm glad you guys are.
Man, I had like 5 jokes just then. I can't tell because I have too many people I know watching this.
I think there's definitely an element to that. Like, I think Peyton can get too cute. There's definitely some plays where it's like, man, why the hell are you doing that? Like, the draw to Adam Prentice on 3rd and 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of times where I think Peyton does get too cute. And yes, there are plays in this offense that are too challenging for Bo. I don't think that's on Sean Payton, because I think it's like very basic asks of an NFL quarterback. And if those basic asks are too much for you as an NFL quarterback, I think that's on you. Like, and I'm honestly glad you asked that question, because it sets me up well. There are a lot of, I think, valid play calling critiques. They haven't run the ball too much. They probably haven't pulled all the necessary levers to make the offense as easy for Bo as they possibly could. That said, although it should be easier, they also probably should open it up some more. They should have some more tempo in there, but not too much. You do want to respect your defense and make sure you're mitigating that. You also want to maybe simplify the play calls and whatnot. At a point, we're talking about a lot of offensive tweaks that really will. Okay, a quick tangent. On the simplifying play calls thing, people want less wordy play calls, but then are also annoyed that there's like widespread execution problems on the offense. The play calls are wordy in part because it's telling everyone on the offense what to do. Simplifying those to one words, not going to make the offensive execution problems any better, I would expect. But anyways, all these different things we want to tweak with the offense, change with the run, and we want to change this with the pass and more tempo but not too much. It leaves a pretty narrow band of what like the right play calling would be. I think if you ultimately think about it, like people saying in my replies, you can't be running it on first down like Sean, or passing it on first down like Sean Payton is, and just all this ridiculous stuff where we'd be talking about such a narrow sliver of what can be called that I think at a point we're just critiquing the quarterback. If it needs to check 15 boxes to be the right offense for this quarterback, I don't think that's the play caller failing to check all the boxes. I think that's the quarterback needing 15 boxes checked. You know what I mean? Like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and it's fine that Bo Nix isn't there, but those guys don't need every single little thing to be perfectly right for them to look good.
Yes, it's Drew Lock-esque. If only Drew Lock didn't have Pat Shurmur. If only we kept Rick
Poor Drew.
Scangarello, man. Yeah, it would have been so much different for Drew. Man, Drew just didn't have it.
And I'll also say, I don't think the play calls are bad. I think you watch it, there's open receivers downfield, and they're either being missed with his eyes or missed with his throws. And I mean, unless, now I will say, and I keep saying this on Twitter and I'll say it here too, if Sean Payton is designing these plays and he is telling Bo, you're one of two things. If he's telling him either A, you're going to see a wide open receiver, ignore them completely, throw it to the check down. That's malpractice. That's bad. Sean Payton shouldn't be doing that. I highly doubt he is, but if he is, he should not be doing that. Also, if Sean Payton's going, now, Bo, you're going to see Evan Ingram. He's going to be wide open, running towards the end zone on this one. I need you to throw it 2-3 yards over his head. I don't want him to have a single chance in hell of hauling in this catch. That's really bad. Sean Payton shouldn't be doing that. That's a bad play design. Do I think that's the design of the play? No. Right? If he's saying you're going to have Troy Franklin wide open running deep, and you're going to think, hey, I should throw a frozen rope to this guy, and it's a walk-in touchdown. Do not do. I need you to throw a lollipop, and I need you to underthrow it so the safety can undercut it and get an interception. Right? That's probably not the design of those plays. It's probably the execution.
Everybody just be patient. Zach's got a lot to get off his chest tonight, guys. So just let him vent.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
He's absolutely right what he's saying, but he just needs to get it all out. The good stuff's coming.
That's a good one, David. That's a good dad joke. I appreciate it in the chat. But I'm done ranting, but I just like, why are we looking to blame everyone but the quarterback? It doesn't, like, owning what Knicks could get better at doesn't mean we got to bench him for Jarrett Stidham. Like, there's a middle ground.
Absolutely
between, like,
not. Yeah.
Burning the guy to the ground and being like, hey, I think Bo could get better at throwing accurate passes. David, Mike, anything else you want to close this out with on this topic before I get us to some positives here?
No, I'm with you. I'm actually with you. I think you needed that, Zach. I'm glad you got that out.
I did.
We do see a lot of the, it's funny how play calls suck until they work. So that'd be my last comment. You like the Prentice thing, or like Atkins wasn't in the game, Powers is out, Mims is out, but those are excuses, right? You still got to perform. The play calls, they all suck when they don't work. The screens suck when they don't work. Everything sucks when it doesn't work, but when it works like it did against Dallas, it's genius.
Yeah.
It's so weird that Sean Payton called different plays for the Cowboys game, and they were so successful, and they just didn't go back to. So weird. It's why did he call all the best plays against the worst secondary in the league that was down 4 starters? Could it be that they just looked better because they were going against the worst secondary in the league down 4 starters? It makes you think. It does make you think. Maybe when you play like a D3 defense, it's easier to execute the plays, but the plays themselves are changing. I don't know. I hate to put my tinfoil out of here. I know you guys listening to one of you guys thought you were listening to a sports podcast and not the Joe Rogan experience, but I'm throwing out
okay, so the worst secondary in the world. Okay, whatever. I get it, but the Broncos have allowed 166 points this season. 166 points. The Broncos have allowed. The Texans have allowed 121 points. That's no slouch.
I was talking about the Cowboys. I was talking Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Fuck those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. No. The Texans secondary is amazing. I would not.
Okay.
Know.
All right.
No, we're on the same page. And I also wasn't dunking on you. I was just pointing out.
Oh, you can dunk on me.
Everybody, I wonder why it's happening. Anyway, I thought your point was prescient, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready to go to some positives? I do have 2 happy topics to close this out with. Okay. Last one of the topics before we get to our stars of the game here. Guys, the Chargers lost to Joe Alt to what, according to Adam Schefter, appears to be a season-ending injury. They're going to confirm that with an MRI tomorrow. But right now, the belief is that is a season-ending injury. The Chargers offense and team in general was dramatically worse the last time we saw all out of the lineup this season. They lost to the Giants. They lost to the Commanders at home. This certainly shakes up the AFC West. Meanwhile, the Raiders lose in overtime to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Kansas City Chiefs, most importantly, lose to the Buffalo Bills. The Broncos are now a game up on the Chargers, 2 games up on the Chiefs, going to be 2.5 if they can take care of business against the Raiders, because the Chiefs have a bye week this week. Should the Denver Broncos be the AFC West favorites entering this week? Sorry for hitting my mic. Entering this week, they were third. They were favored to finish third in the division. I feel like that might change this weekend. What say you, David? Are they the new AFC West favorites?
They got to be, man. We're 2 games ahead of the Chiefs. That's all that matters right now. I'm not concerned with the Chargers. We should be favorites. We're halfway through the season, more than halfway through.
I like it. Mike?
AFC West? Is that what you're asking? Favorites?
AFC West favorites.
Yeah. I think I'm not saying if you put Denver and Kansas City at a neutral site and they play 3 times that Denver wins 2. I'm not saying that, but we've taken care of business and they haven't. They're all flawed. All the teams in the AFC West are flawed. So, yeah, I say they're the favorites. Yeah. Bring them on.
I love it. It's music to my ears. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I'm terrified about that Chiefs game, but I've been saying this on our post-game shows for a few weeks now, just saying, hey, if they can win these next couple, if they can win this next one, if they can win, or they can win this next 4, and then it was 3, and then it was 2. Now it's 1. If they can just beat the Raiders at home, oh my goodness, if they don't, I'm going to be grouchy the next time we get on this show. But if they can just take care of business against the Las Vegas Raiders at home, and the Raiders played an overtime game before this short week, I feel like that is somewhat meaningful. I don't know. They are going to have a chance to take a 3.5 game lead on the Chiefs with 6 to play. That's not going to clinch the division for you, but it is going to put you in unreal position. I do think they should probably, I don't know, man. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, but I think they should be right there neck and neck. If someone wanted to give the Chiefs like the plus 105 and the Broncos a plus 110 or whatever, there's a reason I'm not setting Vegas lines. I'm sure those are flawed. But if someone wanted to set the lines there for these respective or close with a slight nod towards the Chiefs because they're the reigning dynasty, that's probably where I'd set them right now. That feels appropriate to me. But and I'm okay being late to this party. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs 2 weeks from today, oh my goodness, it's going to be a party. It is going to be, even if they lose to the Raiders, I really hope they don't. But if they lose to the Raiders and beat the Chiefs, still commanding, they are in a commanding position.
When was the last time the Broncos 9 games in?
I know the answer.
Were in control of their own destiny. I mean, this is pretty good, guys. They don't even have to beat they don't have to beat the Chiefs to win the AFC West.
Yeah. Also, so a couple things we'll hit on. They popped up on the game, so people might have already seen this. But Broncos haven't had a win streak this long since 2015. They haven't been in sole possession of the division this late into the season since 2015. And the Chiefs haven't been out of first place this far into the season since 2021. When surprisingly the Raiders did it, but still, I mean, first time in 4 years is pretty cool. Broncos, I'll also say it kind of always felt pretty fraudulent with that Raiders run in a way it doesn't to me with this Broncos run. Please, Denver, just keep it together. A good comment here from WD205. Andy Reid with a bye is scary good. Early line for me is -2.5. Chiefs way. I think that's fair. And Andy Reid with a bye is scary good. I'll say, I think the second best thing you could have to coming off a bye is coming off a Thursday night football game against one of the worst teams in the NFL. And that's what the Broncos will have. They'll have the mini bye. This week is one that should be hopefully not that difficult. And yeah, that's kind of all I got to say on that. Standouts, folks. While you start thinking about who you want your star of the game to be, I'm sure you probably already picked. There were a couple comments I wanted to circle back to. David Youngkin asking, since we won, is there any chance the Broncos will be buyers at the deadline? I don't think so, but what the hell do I know? That was David at the end there. I think most likely, no, they don't make a trade. Like that's if you were to bet, that'd be the most likely option. I think there's a healthy chance they make a deal, though. This team is right there with a chance to be playing home playoff games. I mean, they have the same record as the teams at the top of the AFC right now. It's fairly plausible that the Broncos could even have the 1 seed. Like, why not try and maximize that chance as much as you can, especially with the new format? Like, do I think the Broncos are the best team in the AFC? No. But if you give them the advantage of playing one less playoff game than everyone else and home field with this defense, through the tournament, I think they got a chance. So push your chips in, do whatever you can to maximize those odds. I don't think they will ultimately make a deal, though. What say the two of you, starting with you, Mike?
I'd like them to, but no, I don't see them doing that either. I think the only time you'd see the Paytons do that would be some sort of, injury replacement kind of thing. They don't tend to do upgrade trades at the trade deadline, at least and not in recent memory. That I would personally love to see, like I see a lot of names thrown around, like a Waddle or somebody like that. Just throw them in. It's not always the best team that wins the Super Bowl. You just got to win a game, and then you just got to win another game. You got to go on a little run. The Broncos just ran off 6 games. They could go on a run. The 97 Broncos went on a run on the road and beat the teams that, like, the revenge tour. Like, I've seen it. Anything's possible. Like David said today, the Packers got beat by who was it? Carolina. Right?
The Packers lost to the Panthers and Browns.
Yeah, like, give yourself a better chance. Like, there were a few. Okay, even though we've ground this into the dirt, Bo was shit for a lot of this game, but there were a few of those big plays that T. Higgins or Waddle or one of those guys definitely comes down with that ball today. Big plays, and I think we are missing that. I'd love to see it, but no. To answer the question, I don't think they will.
David, what do you think? Will they make a deal?
And I sure hope so. D Bronx saying, if you're not buying now, when will you? I would love to make a big splash and get a big play wide receiver, but more realistically, you're talking about bringing in winners that can play a role on this team. Come on now. We already did one deal with the Saints. Get Taysom Hill in here, man. I love having Mercedes Lewis here. Maybe we keep him on the practice squad, man. Taysom Hill, I think, would be perfect. And
that would be fun.
I think he's a winner, man. Why not? We got $12 million in cap space right now. Come on.
George Payton, I will painstakingly go through my Twitter account and find every even slightly negative thing I've ever said about you. If you make a trade to get Alex Singleton off the field. And you know what? If it's Alex Singleton and a 7th round pick for a bag of potato chips, I'm okay with it. I'll count it. I'll count it. Just anything. I cannot watch this man play football for the Broncos for the rest of the year. It is maddening to me how bad he is. He is maybe and it's not that he's bad at everything. I think the Broncos have a pretty good roster, but so, and I'm saying that before I say this, he's the worst starter on the team, man. I mean, maybe Wattenberg. It's one of those two.
Wattenberg's having a pretty good season, man. I'm sorry. Like, he's gotten better. Like, we're not talking about him a lot like we used to.
Okay, but you know what? The fact that I said I don't know who's worse, Alex Singleton or Luke Wattenberg, and you went, "Hey, don't
Well,
talk about
Alex
Wattenberg that
Singleton's
way."
clearly the worst starter,
Is
but we got to throw Wattenberg under the bus again.
okay. What's your answer?
No, I totally agree with what you said. I'm just giving you shit.
My
I'm
point.
I'm defending
Exactly.
Wattenberg because the poor guy we laid on that guy for a whole season last year, and now it's like,
Yeah.
hey, they don't call his name a lot. He's doing all right.
Doing better. He's doing better. I'm just saying that maddening. Positives. We're going back to positives. David, who had you fired up today?
Yeah, is this the same as our? Should we start with like our MVP? Of the
MVP,
game?
yeah, whatever you want to call it, star, standout, MVP.
All
Who's
right.
your?
I know y'all might have some more popular answers, but the man who changed the game there in the third quarter, we get the ball back. We got a nasty 3 and out. What? It goes to like 4th and inches.
Here we go.
I am so pissed off. I am so pissed off. Why are we not going for it? We have to go for it. No. Sean Payton says, I drafted a punter with the 6th round, and I'm going to show you that he's a franchise punter. We're not giving up any returns, dude. This guy fires an absolute freaking missile all the way back to the end zone on the opposite side of the field. Gives the ball to the Texans. Right, that was a touchback, or did it go to like the 10-yard line? I don't remember what it was. I'll look it up here in a minute. But he hit an absolute booter that flipped field position, and that's when the momentum of this game flipped. It was with Jeremy Crawshaw's leg.
Man,
Man,
that's awesome.
That's a niche pull. I like it, and I don't think you're wrong. I think he had a early punt that was rough, but then after that, he was the only reason the Broncos were even slightly competitive in the field position battle, because my Lord, every other aspect of the special teams was pretty horrendous. Mike, what did you think about Crawshaw today?
I think it's interesting that David gives special teams an F and then a special teamer is his MVP of the game. So that just tells you how hard this grading stuff is, folks.
No, that just tells you how bad the rest of the unit was. I still had to give him an F.
Yeah, this is a group project where the one kid got an A because the teacher was like, "Man, look, I know you were trying. But like, I also like this is
take you out for ice cream.
This is like the PowerPoint wasn't even literate. Like I cannot give you a passing grade for this.
There were some. That's a great pick, David. He was definitely in my list of possibilities. I know.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
To make sure I get the call right. It was a 67-yard punt out of bounds at the Houston 12.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, that was a game saver. It was huge. And he was on my list. Like I said, I know this question's coming. I know Zach's going to ask these questions, and so we kind of have to think about it. Like, you want to pick one, like for real, so that we're being honest. And and he was on my list, David. I definitely had him on the list too. He had a great game. I thought Greenlaw played well. I almost kind of thought about RJ because he was clutch. It was really came down between Hufanga and Allen for me, and so I went with Zach Allen.
That's a great pick.
I think he had the best game of anybody on the team. He was impactful. He was hurt for a little bit, but I mean he played hard. He was all up in the quarterback's face. I think he was only credited with like 3 quarterback pressures, but that's still a lot in a game, especially for the position he plays. He had a sack. He had a tackle for loss. He deflected 2 passes, and he had 3 or 4 QB hits. And he wasn't even credited with, we're not even talking about like all the tackles or all that stuff, the stats and stuff. Just he was I think he was a big reason that the Broncos were able to win a low scoring game. So yeah, Zach Allen gets my MVP all day. Great player.
Love that pick. He was a monster today. Did his best JJ Watt impression there in Houston. I think everyone was terrified when we saw his legs I think he was just crumpled up in pain, but the way his legs were kind of positioned, it looked really scary there for second.
It's like a liver
Glad he's
shot.
okay. And for him to come back in and just crush the rest of the game.
Dominate.
David, how do you feel about Zach Allen?
Dude, he was amazing. I was so scared when he was out. And again, our whole defensive line, a lot of people might not know these guys by name. You know, just kind of being on the outside looking in, unless you follow the AFC West or you follow this team, man. But we got, I feel like, man, we got 6 guys that we know that can really get after it. And Zach Allen is like the engine behind it all. So
Yeah.
Zach Allen was fantastic. And to your point, Talanoa Hufanga, man, just another fantastic performance from the safety position. Came up with some huge plays that I don't think PJ Locke was getting last year, albeit with a broken back.
Yeah. I mean, that signing is paying massive dividends right now. He's been amazing. He's been everything you would have hoped. And now they've got him under contract for 3 years. If he can just, have better injury luck in Denver than he had in San Francisco, that contract is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. He looks unreal. And that's where I'm going to be giving my MVP award to. Really quick, I do want to throw out a little honorable mention to RJ Harvey, just because neither of you picked him. He's awesome. He's closing in on some all-time Broncos marks. He's already their all-time leading rookie or receiver among rookie running backs all time, like most receptions for a rookie running back, most receiving yards, most receiving touchdowns ever for a rookie running back. And then just in terms of general receptions now, he's now tied, and we're only halfway through the season. He's tied for 16th all time for most receptions by a Bronco in their rookie year, tied with Tim Patrick right now. And again, he's only going to keep climbing. I doubt he caught his last pass of the season today. And then in terms of touchdowns, he has more than 4 total touchdowns, but he has 4 receiving touchdowns. The Broncos record is 6. So if he can get 2, he'll be tied there, and 3, he'll win it. I think there's a decent chance he pulls that off. Love me some RJ Harvey. You guys, I'll give my MVP to Hufanga and Greenlaw here in a second, but what did you guys think about Harvey?
I'll say this. He's way better than Travion Henderson right now, man. So for all the people that were just devastated we did not get him, man, I think RJ, he has been a fantastic value at pick 60, and he's really come along over the last few weeks. That's been great to see.
I love that, man. I'm with you. I am so encouraged from what I've seen from him. And if JK wasn't showing out kind of the way he is, and J.K. Dobbins is a really good running back, I think. RJ looks really good. He looks the part. He's got some stuff to learn, but man, he was one of the key players in the game. You would have been justified to pick RJ today. Another clutch performance, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm high on RJ, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to get injured. He's short, but he's not small. He's like built really well for this. He looks good out there. Love him.
Just think still moving a little fast for him, but I think he'll slow down with time, and excited to see what he can be. 4 for 51 and a touchdown today. He was the leading receiver for the Broncos. Okay, now I got to talk about these free agent signings. My God, Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, they're my MVPs of the game. This game, it was great. We finally got to see them on the field together. Greenlaw still was in and out, but on less of a pitch count at least. So I guess not in their full glory, but a little closer to it. And it was glorious, let me tell you. It was, wow. Hufanga all over the place, making plays against the run, as a pass rusher, in coverage. His season's been amazing. It should be even better because he should have like a pick 6. I forget if that was the Jets or Eagles game when it got tipped up, and he should have that one. He's got like 2 or 3 other dropped interceptions this year. And like, yes, that is frustrating. You want him to haul those in, but he's having a great year without the interceptions. And it's that close to being like all pro, no doubter. He's been amazing. I hope he starts to reel some of those in because he's just been amazing. And I also got to shout out Greenlaw because he was so great. Great game from him overall. But I'll just highlight in particular that fourth, or I guess it was first and goal at the one stand.
Yeah.
Drake Greenlaw, go back, and Hufanga was playing great on that series too. But go back, rewatch those first 3 plays, and Drake Greenlaw is playing like the Tasmanian devil from the Looney Tunes commercials. It's crazy. He is a terror. I cannot wait to see more of this guy in a Broncos uniform. Football gods, please take good care of Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw. They played the game the right way, and they are so damn fun to watch. I need more of these guys in my life. If they can just stay healthy, these are home run signings. It's just going to come down to health.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
So you're
think
picking both of them? Are you picking both of them as your MVP, co-MVP?
You know what? If you want to hold my feet to the fire, I'm going to say my MVP's George Payton's friendship with John Lynch. How about that?
There you go. I like it. I love it, man. I think we can do co-MVPs because those two play so well together. Like the combination of those two is what really stood out to me today, Zach. I'm on board with it, man. That was a great game. And my pick would have been Hufanga if he'd have just come down with either one of the 2 interceptions he had in his hands tonight.
It was amazing. He's so awesome.
He's game.
So awesome. Just a fun play, like the vibes with him. I mean, is he the best Broncos safety since? Well, I guess Justin Simmons is pretty darn good, and he made an All-Pro. I guess that's it. It'd be Justin Simmons or TJ. He pretty good safeties for the Broncos. What, you guys don't think he's better than Justin Simmons, right? Yeah, that was.
Well, he hasn't been here long enough for me to answer that question.
I thought that'd be.
But I will say, I like the style and the flair he plays with a little bit more than Justin Simmons.
Yeah, the vibe.
We needed this kind of safety at this time. Like he's a hard-hitting wild man. Simmons was never that. He was more of a coverage safety, smart, savvy.
I mean,
but he wasn't killing people and flying around like Talanoa Hufanga does.
TJ, that's a great
strong
call.
Strong safeties may be the better debate because you can talk about him versus Kareem.
Yeah,
Jackson.
exactly.
I would take him over Kareem. He's man, oh god, he's sick. I want him in Denver and Greg Greenlaw in Denver healthy for a while.
So good.
Any closing thoughts to get us out of here, fellas? David.
Honorable mention or shout out, Pat Bryant. Those 2. Did both of his catches go for first downs? I know he had that huge one on 3rd and 10 where he extended over. Was that
probably because I kind of think the second one was short and in the flats, but I'm probably wrong on that because I swear every Pat Bryant reception is for a first down. Entering this game, it was like all but 2. So I think it's a safe assumption. But I'm with you. Pat Bryant's sick.
He's got the best hands on the team. I tweeted that out today. I honestly feel like he catches the ball, man. Just put it close to him, he'll catch it. He's going to be something, man. Yeah. Good rookie class.
Oh, and we got to shout out the secondary too. Riley and Chris Abrams drained. They did, get beat, but it was minimal. They were not liabilities today. That was huge. And again, they didn't get a bunch of pass interference calls either. So that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was nice.
His biggest role of the season so far. It was hard to tell live how they were managing that rotation. I want to go back and watch and see exactly how they were deploying those guys situationally because they were rotating some, which was interesting. So curious.
Yeah, and it was weird too, Zach, because he was like in on dime and out on nickel and in on like it was kind of all mixed up and jumbled. I couldn't keep track of it because I was just trying to watch everything, but it was kind of a weird rotation. It's interesting.
My theory right now, I think they had Barron in there as the boundary cornerback for base defense, and then he was in the slot for dime. And I think the logic there was he's the bigger body than Abrams drain. He's stouter.
Yeah.
And so in those base defense looks, so they're not just running at Abrams drain. You want him in there because he's a more respectable run defender. I think again, I didn't even chart this, so I'm not even sure if I'm right. This is my hypothesis. And then I think they took him off for nickel because you've got Jaquan in there, and so he's back outside. And then you bring him back in for dime because you want him inside for that, and Abrams Drain can go back outside. I think that's what they were doing. But interesting deployment, something I'm curious to watch back. Any other final points? And then I'll have you guys shout your stuff out. Sorry, I know we went long today.
I mean, the Broncos are tied for the best record in the league. They're 7-2.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, guys, the playoffs are going to be the Colts, New England, and Buffalo will probably both make it. Who knows? I think Pittsburgh looks like they're going to take the North. So you're going to have at least one or two teams coming out of the AFC West if New England keeps winning that division. Buffalo's going to make it, or they'll flip. And I mean, we're just in a great place right now, Zach. I mean, there's nobody with a better record. So I'm super happy. That's my final thoughts on this. I don't care how it gets done at the end of the year. If it ends with a little ring and a trophy, I won't care how we won those games.
Yeah, that's pretty darn sweet. What a note to close it on. David.
And I'm just so happy. My season prediction was 13-4.
Whoa.
So we're right there. And I got to be honest, with how this season started out, I did not think that was going to be at all close. But we're in striking range of it. But less of the record prediction. I believe that this was our year, and it is our year to win the AFC West. I'm feeling absolutely great about it right now. So let's not look ahead. Let's be sure to smack the Raiders, man. This is a trash team, and we need to handle them like they're the Dallas Cowboys again, if not worse. So let's get that win on Thursday, and then we got a week and a half to talk about Kansas City coming to Denver.
Let's go.
I am in lockstep. And my closing thoughts, I'm thrilled to be a Broncos fan. It's a great time to be a Broncos fan, not only because the team is great and things are looking up, but because we also have some great creators. And that's where I'll transition to. Everybody, make sure you are supporting us at Let's Talk Broncos. We're very grateful for it. Like the stream, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back on Tuesday with Mario and Pat giving their thoughts on the game, maybe a little look ahead to Thursday night too. But more importantly, I want to tell everybody, check out Mic'd Up. You can see it spelled right over his shoulder there. MIKEDUP. Go check him out. And then David Talks Sports, David Talks Buffs, David Talks Broncos. Look up any of those, whichever you're interested in, sports, buffs, or Broncos, and all three. Again, and or whatever you like, and he'll have you covered on all fronts. Dave, both you guys shout out your work. Mike, and then David, go.
Yes.
I mean, you covered it. I've got the Spin Zone. Just if you get on Twitter, you should be following all of us on Twitter anyway. I'm at Mike_Carmelini, and we just love doing these shows for you guys together. I put their links to their YouTube channels in the description. So if you're watching on mine, if you're one of the few, I mean, these guys have 3 times as many subscribers. But if you're on my YouTube channel, get down in the comments, find theirs, click on them, subscribe. You won't be sorry. These are my 2 favorite Broncos guys in the whole country. And so, yeah, we just love you for watching, and we appreciate it. Appreciate Zach having us on. I named us the 3-headed monster today by accident. I'm going to try and make that stick.
Dude, ever since Mike joined this, man.
Undefeated.
So he's our good luck charm. Yes, go subscribe to the channels, guys. Their links are in my description as well. If you want to see the multiple personalities of me, David Talks Buffs, you can head over there on YouTube, get a sadder version of me. David Talks Broncos, happier version of me, man. That about sums it up. Please subscribe to both, interact, and thank you, Zach, for having us on.
Of course. Let's hope those Buffs turn it around. Until Thursday night, everybody.
Oh, we will be on Tuesday.
Oh, you will. Who will?
with Mario.
Oh, you.
Oh, that's right. We will be on Let's Talk Broncos. It's
Again.
altitude adjustment. It's cover 4.
Oh,
and it's,
cover 4, not cover
yeah.
8.
So it's going to be David, his pretty face right there. You're going to see him happy. It's going to be me and Strez, if you guys know, at It's
Strez is
Strez, I
great.
think, or something like that.
Mhm.
So
Broncos
yeah,
Hub.
that's Tuesday night at
All right.
8 Mountain. So we will be back on Zach's Let's
So
Talk
funny
Broncos
before
channel
me.
again. Hey, as long as the check's clear, Zach, we're there.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, you can find them wherever then. Make sure you support them. Thank you for supporting us at Let's Talk Broncos until Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. It's a week of Let's Talk Broncos. Let's go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Broncos.
See you guys soon.